blessed and very lucky. I've had an amazing life. Music has been my life, and I got this for music and to work for charity.
Elton John has sparked royal drama like never before. The legendary singer has reportedly taken King Charles to the Supreme Court after shocking revelations about royal secrets. Elton, who shared a close bond with Princess Diana, claims the truth about her struggles and life within the royal family has been buried for too long, and King Charles might hold the key. This unexpected legal battle has left the public stunned, uncovering twists that could shake the monarchy to its core. So, what did Charles reveal? Elton John's revelation. Elton John, one of the world's most celebrated musicians, recently opened up about a shocking truth involving his late friend, Princess Diana, and King Charles. For years, Elton and Diana's friendship was admired by many. They were often seen laughing and enjoying each other's company at public events. But behind the scenes, their relationship faced unseen struggles that eventually led to a painful estrangement. Now, after decades of silence, Elton has revealed that King Charles played a significant role in driving a wedge between them. Elton and Diana's friendship began in 1981 at Prince Andrew's 21st birthday party. It was an unexpected bond that blossomed through shared humor, compassion, and understanding of the pressures that came with their public lives. Diana, trapped in a failing marriage and burdened by royal expectations, found solace in Elton's wit and empathy. Similarly, Elton, who had faced his own personal struggles, found a kindred spirit in Diana. Their bond was deep and genuine, but it wasn't without its challenges. According to Elton, the real turning point in their friendship came in 1997. He had asked Diana to contribute a foreword to a charity book for his AIDS Foundation, a cause he was deeply passionate about. Diana had initially agreed, but she later withdrew her support at the last minute. Elton was devastated and confused by her sudden change of heart. It wasn't until much later that he discovered the truth. King Charles had pressured Diana to pull out of the project. Charles was reportedly concerned about the royal family's image and believed that Diana's involvement in such a controversial project might bring unwanted attention. This revelation hurt Elton deeply. He felt betrayed, not just by Diana's decision, but by the unseen influence of King Charles. The incident marked the beginning of a painful rift between Elton and Diana. Their once close friendship cooled, and the frequent phone calls and meetings they had shared became a thing of the past. Elton chose to break his silence after years of reflection. He admitted that speaking out was not easy, knowing the weight his words carried. However, he felt it was important to share the truth, not to stir controversy, but to honor Diana's legacy. Elton's revelation paints a complex picture of the pressures Diana faced as a member of the royal family and the challenges that came with being her friend. It is a story of love, loss, and the enduring impact of one of the most beloved figures in modern history. King Charles's influence. King Charles has always been a figure of tradition, protocol, and responsibility when it comes to the British monarchy. However, behind the public image of duty lies a more complex story about his influence on those closest to him, including his late wife, Princess Diana. Recently, Elton John shed light on how Charles's actions not only shaped Diana's life, but also affected her friendships, particularly her bond with Elton himself. Elton and Diana shared a rare and beautiful friendship. They connected on a deep emotional level, with Elton offering her a sense of humor and empathy during some of her most challenging times. However, as their friendship grew, King Charles began to see it as a potential issue for the royal family. Diana's increasing popularity and her association with Elton, who was a global celebrity and a vocal advocate for causes like AIDS awareness, made Charles uneasy. He was deeply concerned with preserving the monarchy's image, and Elton's flamboyant personality and controversial work didn't align with the conservative values of the royal household. One of the most striking examples of Charles's influence was during the charity book controversy in 1997. Elton had asked Diana to write a foreword for a book supporting his AIDS Foundation. Diana initially agreed, but at the last moment she pulled out. Elton later revealed that Charles had pressured Diana to withdraw her support, fearing that her involvement in such a project would tarnish the monarchy's reputation. This decision left Elton feeling betrayed and confused, and it marked the beginning of a painful estrangement between the two friends. Charles's influence didn't stop with the charity book. Elton also recalled how Diana often spoke to him about feeling trapped in her royal role. She described how Charles's emotional distance and his focus on tradition made it difficult for her to feel supported. Behind the scenes, Charles subtly shaped many of Diana's decisions, including her relationships with people outside the royal family. This created ongoing tension between Diana's desire to live authentically and her duty to conform to royal expectations. Elton's revelations about Charles's actions highlight the unseen pressures within the royal family. While Charles's intentions may have been to protect the monarchy, his influence had far-reaching consequences, including the isolation Diana felt and the strain it placed on her relationships. This story paints a picture of a man torn between his duty to the crown and the personal dynamics that defined his private life. The charity book incident. The charity book incident marked a turning point in Elton John's friendship with Princess Diana, a bond that had been cherished by both of them for years. In 1997, Elton was working on a charity coffee table book to benefit his AIDS Foundation, a cause he held close to his heart. The book aimed to raise awareness and funds for AIDS during a time when the disease was still heavily stigmatized. It was a bold and compassionate project, and Diana, known for her humanitarian efforts, agreed to write the foreword. Her involvement would have been monumental, given her global influence and her fearless advocacy for causes that many avoided. Elton was overjoyed by Diana's support. Her name attached to the project would not only bring much-needed attention to the cause, but also help break the stigma surrounding AIDS. At the time, very few public figures, let alone members of the royal family, were willing to openly associate themselves with the issue. Diana's agreement to contribute to the book felt like a powerful step forward, both for the cause and their friendship. However, just as everything seemed to be falling into place, Diana suddenly pulled out of the project. Elton was blindsided and deeply hurt. He couldn't understand why she had withdrawn her commitment to something she had seemed so passionate about. The abrupt decision left him confused and questioning their friendship. It wasn't until much later that Elton discovered the truth. King Charles had intervened. According to Elton, Charles had expressed concerns about Diana's involvement in such a high-profile and controversial project. The royal family, with its strong focus on maintaining tradition and avoiding divisive topics, viewed Diana's connection to the AIDS cause as risky. Fearing that it could bring negative attention to the monarchy, Charles reportedly pressured Diana to step away from the book. This revelation left Elton devastated. He felt not only betrayed by Diana's decision, but also frustrated that outside forces, particularly Charles's influence, had come between them. For Diana, the situation was equally heartbreaking. She was caught between her loyalty to Elton and her desire to maintain peace within the royal family. The incident highlighted the immense pressure she faced as a member of the monarchy, where even her personal friendships and passions were subject to scrutiny. The charity book incident became a painful rift in their friendship, one that neither Elton nor Diana fully recovered from before her untimely death. It remains a poignant reminder of the challenges Diana faced in balancing her personal values with the demands of royal life. Diana's isolation. Princess Diana was one of the most beloved and iconic figures in modern history, but behind the public adoration and glamorous image, she lived a life of deep loneliness and isolation. Trapped in the rigid world of the royal family and burdened by the constant scrutiny of the media, Diana often felt like she had no one to truly turn to. Her struggles were heartbreaking, and they reveal the immense pressure she endured as both a princess and a human being. From the outside, Diana's life seemed like a fairy tale. She was the Princess of Wales, married to Prince Charles, and adored by millions across the globe. But behind the palace walls, things were far from perfect. Her marriage to Charles was strained, marked by emotional distance and infidelity. Diana was well aware of Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, and it left her feeling unloved and rejected. Despite being in the public eye, she felt more alone than ever. As her marriage fell apart, Diana found herself increasingly alienated within the royal family. The traditions and expectations of royal life were suffocating, and she struggled to find her place. She often described feeling like an outsider, unable to fit into the rigid mold that the monarchy demanded. Her every move was scrutinized, and her every flaw was magnified by the press. The constant presence of paparazzi only worsened her isolation, leaving her with little privacy or peace. Diana's mental health also suffered greatly during this time. She battled bulimia and depression, both of which were fueled by the pressures of her royal role and her crumbling marriage. She often confided in close friends about her feelings of hopelessness and despair. Elton John, one of her dearest friends, became a trusted confidant during her darkest moments. Late-night phone calls between the two revealed the depth of her struggles, as she shared her fears, frustrations, and longing for a life outside the royal spotlight. Despite her pain, Diana remained committed to her humanitarian work, which became a source of purpose for her. She channeled her feelings of isolation into compassion for others, using her platform to champion causes like AIDS awareness and landmine removal. In helping others, she found some solace, even as her own life felt increasingly out of control. Diana's isolation was a tragic aspect of her life, but it also shaped the legacy she left behind. Her humanity, vulnerability, and strength continue to inspire millions, reminding the world of the struggles she endured and the compassion she shared. Estrangement and reconnection. The friendship between Elton John and Princess Diana was one of the most heartfelt and captivating bonds in the public eye. However, like many close relationships, it wasn't immune to challenges. Their friendship faced a painful estrangement in the mid-1990s, only to find a bittersweet moment of reconnection shortly before Diana's tragic passing. The fallout between Elton and Diana stemmed from a charity book project in 1997. Elton had planned to release a coffee table book to benefit his AIDS Foundation, a cause he passionately championed. Initially, Diana agreed to write the foreword for the book, and her involvement was significant, as she was a fearless advocate for humanitarian issues. However, she later withdrew her support, leaving Elton hurt and confused. He later discovered that King Charles had influenced her decision, urging her to step back from the project to protect the royal family's image. This revelation created a rift between Elton and Diana, as their friendship, which had been a source of joy and comfort, began to fade. During their estrangement, both Elton and Diana experienced emotional struggles. Diana was dealing with the breakdown of her marriage, the relentless scrutiny of the media, and her own feelings of isolation. Elton, on the other hand, was deeply affected by the loss of their connection, as Diana had been one of the few people who truly understood him on a personal level. The distance between them weighed heavily on both sides, leaving a void that neither could easily fill. In July 1997, tragedy brought them back together. The unexpected murder of their mutual friend, Gianni Versace, served as a turning point. At Versace's funeral in Milan, Elton and Diana reconnected through their shared grief. Sitting side by side, they comforted one another, holding hands and speaking quietly. The warmth of their bond returned, even if only for a brief moment. For Elton, this reconnection was bittersweet, as it reminded him of the closeness they once shared. Sadly, their renewed connection was short-lived. Just weeks later, Diana tragically passed away in a car accident in Paris. Elton was left mourning not only the loss of a dear friend, but also the missed opportunity to fully repair their relationship. Their story of estrangement and reconnection remains a poignant reminder of the fragility of human relationships and the importance of cherishing the people we hold dear. Elton's tribute to Diana. Elton John's tribute to Princess Diana remains one of the most iconic and emotional moments in modern history. Their friendship was one filled with laughter, shared struggles, and mutual respect. When Diana tragically passed away on August 31st, 1997, Elton was devastated. He had only recently reconnected with her after a period of estrangement, and her sudden death left him heartbroken. In his grief, Elton found a way to honor his dear friend in a way that would resonate with millions around the world. At Diana's funeral, held at Westminster Abbey, Elton performed a reworked version of his song "Candle in the Wind." Originally written as a tribute to Marilyn Monroe, the lyrics were rewritten by Elton's longtime collaborator, Bernie Taupin, to reflect Diana's life and legacy. The new version, titled "Goodbye England's Rose," painted a beautiful and heartfelt picture of Diana as a compassionate, loving, and iconic figure who had touched the hearts of so many. The The performance was deeply moving. As Elton sang, his voice carried the weight of his grief and the collective mourning of millions who had lost their people's princess. The lyrics spoke of Diana's kindness and her ability to connect with everyday people, breaking through the barriers of royalty to show her humanity. The line, "Your candle burned out long before your legend ever will," captured the essence of her impact. Her life was cut short, but her legacy would endure forever. Behind the scenes, Elton's tribute wasn't without controversy. King Charles reportedly had reservations about including such an emotional and modern performance in what was meant to be a traditional royal funeral. However, the Dean of Westminster supported the idea, understanding the need for the public to grieve in a way that felt genuine. Ultimately, Elton's performance became one of the most memorable moments of the service, resonating with people across the world. The reworked "Candle in the Wind" went on to become one of the best-selling singles of all time, with proceeds donated to Diana's charities. For Elton, it wasn't just a song. It was his way of saying goodbye to a dear friend and ensuring that Diana's memory would live on forever. Elton's loyalty to Diana's children. After Princess Diana's tragic death in 1997, Elton John remained deeply connected to her memory through his enduring loyalty to her two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. His devotion to Diana's children became a way for him to keep her legacy alive while supporting the boys she loved so dearly. Over the years, Elton has acted as both a friend and a protector, standing by them during some of their most challenging moments. Elton shared a particularly close bond with Prince Harry, who reminded him of Diana's warmth, humor, and compassion. After Diana's death, Elton kept in touch with both William and Harry, but it was Harry who often turned to him for guidance. Elton, having faced his own battles with fame and personal struggles, understood the pressures the young princes faced growing up in the public eye. He became someone they could rely on, offering advice and emotional support when they needed it most. One of the most beautiful moments showcasing Elton's loyalty came in 2018, when he performed at Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding. His rendition of several songs during the reception was more than just entertainment. It was a heartfelt gesture of love and support for the couple. Elton's presence at the wedding highlighted his ongoing commitment to Diana's family and his willingness to celebrate their happiness, just as Diana would have wanted. However, Elton's loyalty went beyond joyful occasions. When Harry and Meghan faced relentless media scrutiny and criticism, Elton stepped in to defend them. He publicly supported the couple when they were accused of hypocrisy for using private jets, revealing that he had provided the flights and ensured they were environmentally offset. Elton's defense of Harry and Meghan showed that he wasn't afraid to stand up for them, even when it meant drawing criticism himself. This loyalty has not been without consequences. Elton's unwavering support for Harry and Meghan, especially as their relationship with the royal family grew strained, deepened the distance between him and the monarchy. Yet, Elton's priority has always been clear: honoring Diana's legacy and protecting her children. For Elton, his loyalty to Diana's sons is not just about friendship. It's a tribute to the bond he shared with their mother. Through his actions, he continues to defend and uphold the values Diana stood for, ensuring her spirit lives on through her children. Elton's criticism of Charles Elton John has never been one to shy away from speaking his truth, and when it comes to King Charles, his words carry significant weight. Over the years, Elton has become increasingly vocal about the role Charles played in Princess Diana's struggles. As one of Diana's closest friends, Elton witnessed firsthand the emotional toll her marriage to Charles took on her, and he hasn't hesitated to criticize what he sees as Charles's lack of support for Diana during her most difficult times. One of Elton's main criticisms of Charles revolves around his inability to emotionally connect with Diana. According to Elton, Diana often confided in him about how lonely and trapped she felt in her marriage. She described Charles as distant and more focused on preserving the royal family's image than on addressing her needs or their relationship. This emotional neglect, coupled with Charles's ongoing affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, left Diana feeling isolated and heartbroken. Elton has also criticized Charles for the way he influenced Diana's personal decisions, particularly her friendships. One of the most notable examples of this was the 1997 charity book incident. Diana had agreed to write the foreword for a book benefiting Elton's AIDS Foundation, a cause she was passionate about. However, under pressure from Charles, who was concerned about the royal family's reputation, Diana withdrew her support. This caused a rift between Elton and Diana, one that was deeply painful for both of them. Elton has since spoken openly about how Charles's interference played a significant role in their estrangement. Beyond their personal dynamic, Elton has expressed disappointment in how Charles handled Diana's growing popularity. As Diana's humanitarian work and natural ability to connect with people made her the most beloved member of the royal family, Charles reportedly grew resentful. Elton believes that Charles's jealousy and desire to control the narrative surrounding Diana only added to her struggles within the monarchy. For Elton, his criticism of Charles isn't just about anger, it's about telling the truth. He feels a responsibility to honor Diana's legacy by shedding light on the challenges she faced, many of which, in his view, were shaped by Charles's actions. Through his words, Elton continues to defend Diana's memory and stand up for the values she represented. Standing up for Diana and her legacy. Elton John has always been a man of loyalty, and when it comes to Princess Diana, his commitment to her legacy is unwavering. From the moment they became friends in the early 1980s, Elton admired Diana's courage, compassion, and ability to connect with people on a deeply human level. After her tragic death in 1997, Elton took it upon himself to ensure that her memory, and the values she stood for, would never be forgotten. Elton's decision to speak out about Diana's struggles and the challenges she faced was not an easy one. For years, he remained silent about the role King Charles allegedly played in Diana's isolation and the strain on their friendship. However, Elton later revealed that he felt a responsibility to share the truth, not to stir controversy, but to honor Diana's life and legacy. He believed that the world needed to know the full extent of what she endured as a member of the royal family, and how her humanitarian efforts were sometimes overshadowed by royal politics. One of Elton's most significant acts of loyalty came at Diana's funeral. His performance of a reworked version of Candle in the Wind became a defining moment of public mourning. The song, rewritten as Goodbye England's Rose, was a heartfelt tribute to Diana's life and the impact she had on millions around the world. The performance was not without controversy, as King Charles reportedly had reservations about the emotional tone of the song, but Elton stood firm. His tribute was a way of giving the people a voice to grieve and celebrate Diana's legacy. Beyond the funeral, Elton's dedication to Diana's memory has continued through his unwavering support for her children, Prince William and Prince Harry. His defense of Harry and Meghan Markle during their struggles with the press and royal life reflects his ongoing loyalty to Diana's values. Elton has never hesitated to stand up for what he believes is right, even when it means speaking out against powerful figures like King Charles. For Elton, standing up for Diana is more than an act of friendship. It's a promise to keep her spirit alive. Through his words, music, and actions, he continues to ensure that Diana's legacy of kindness, courage, and humanity shines brightly, even decades after her passing. Elton's final break with the royals. Elton John's relationship with the royal family has always been complex, but in recent years it has reached a breaking point. While Elton has remained loyal to Princess Diana's memory and her children, Prince William and Prince Harry, his public support for Harry and Meghan Markle has created a clear divide between him and the rest of the monarchy, especially King Charles. This final break with the royals is not just about personal relationships, it's about Elton standing up for what he believes in and defending Diana's legacy. Elton's bond with Diana's sons grew stronger after her tragic death in 1997. He had always admired Diana's courage and compassion, and he saw those same qualities in Harry. Over the years, Elton became a trusted ally and mentor to Harry, offering guidance as he navigated the pressures of royal life. However, when Harry and Meghan stepped back from their royal duties and faced relentless media scrutiny, Elton's loyalty to them became more visible and more controversial. One key moment in Elton's break with the royals came when Harry and Meghan were criticized for using private jets. Elton publicly defended the couple, revealing that he had provided the flights and ensured they were environmentally offset. This was his way of protecting Diana's son and standing up against the same kind of unfair media treatment Diana had endured. However, Elton's vocal support for Harry and Meghan deepened the rift between him and King Charles, who who was reportedly unhappy with Elton's involvement. For Elton, this wasn't just about Harry and Meghan. It was about the values Diana stood for. She had always championed causes of compassion and justice, and Elton felt it was his responsibility to do the same for her children. He saw parallels between the media's treatment of Diana and the attacks on Harry and Meghan, and he was determined to protect them, even if it meant distancing himself from the monarchy. Elton's final break with the royals is a testament to his unwavering loyalty to Diana and her family. While his relationship with the monarchy may never be repaired, his commitment to standing up for Diana's legacy remains stronger than ever.
Let's make a show.
Let's go. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary.
This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
Did Meghan Markle just stir up more royal drama? It looks like King Charles is not happy about her latest Netflix project. But why? What is it about this new show that has the palace worried? Ever since Meghan and Harry left the royal family, they have been telling their side of the story, through interviews, books, and documentaries. And let's be real, it hasn't exactly been friendly towards the monarchy. So, now that Meghan is back with a brand new Netflix project, people are asking, is this another hit against the royal family? How King Charles reportedly reacted. Let's talk about how King Charles really feels about Meghan Markle's new Netflix show. Because let's be honest, this isn't the first time she and Prince Harry have made headlines with a big media deal. And every time they do, the royal family ends up in the middle of another controversy. The drama between the royal family and Meghan and Harry didn't start with this Netflix show. It has been going on for years. Ever since they stepped down as senior royals in 2020, they've been signing deals left and right. First with Netflix, then with Spotify, and even book deals. And every time they release something, it stirs up new drama. Remember the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix? That show gave the world a front-row seat to their side of the story. How Meghan felt mistreated, how the press targeted her, and how the royal family supposedly didn't support them. It wasn't just a documentary, it was a bombshell. The royal family reportedly never saw it before it was released, and when it came out, they were furious. Then came Prince Harry's book, Spare. Oh boy, if you thought the documentary was bad, the book was 10 times worse. Harry didn't hold back at all. He talked about fights with Prince William, issues with his father, and even some shocking personal moments, like the time he claimed Charles made jokes about not being his real father. The royal family has always had a rule: never complain, never explain. But after that book, even they couldn't just ignore it. So now, with Meghan coming back with a new Netflix show, you can imagine how Charles must be feeling. The truth is, King Charles has been trying to move forward. He's the king now. He has bigger things to deal with: state matters, charity work, royal events. But every time Meghan and Harry put something out, it drags the family back into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The royal family reportedly hates these media projects because they can't control the narrative. They don't get a say in what's shown, and by the time they see it, the damage is already done. After the Harry and Meghan documentary, sources said Charles was deeply hurt. He had just become king, and instead of the media focusing on his leadership, all anyone could talk about was Harry and Meghan's accusations. And after Spare, it was even worse. Charles was dealing with the stress of his new role, and suddenly, his own son was attacking the family in a best-selling book. Now, with another Netflix show on the way, Charles might be thinking the same thing again. Here we go, another problem. Insider reports on King Charles's reaction. So, what do sources say about how King Charles is reacting to Meghan's new show? Well, some royal insiders claim he's not happy at all. One report suggests that Charles feels disappointed and frustrated because he thought Meghan and Harry would move on from this kind of content. The royal family had hoped that after their previous Netflix deal and the release of Spare, the couple would shift their focus to other things, maybe charity work or private business ventures. But now, with another Netflix show, it feels like history is repeating itself. Another source said that Charles is worried about what the show might include. Will it be another indirect attack on the royal family? Will it bring up old wounds that he's trying to heal? At the end of the day, Charles isn't just a king, he's a father. And no parent wants to see their family's private struggles turned into entertainment for the world to see. Imagine dealing with family problems and then waking up to see them being discussed on Netflix. It's frustrating. There's also speculation that Charles sees this as another PR stunt by Meghan and Harry to stay relevant. Some royal experts believe that without their connection to the royal family, their projects wouldn't get as much attention. So, is Meghan's new show just another way to keep the public interested in them? Charles might think so. Buckingham Palace's official stance. Now, here's where things get interesting. Has the palace said anything about this? The answer? Not really. If you've followed the royal family for a while, you know they have a strict policy. Never complain, never explain. That means they don't usually respond to rumors or scandals unless it's absolutely necessary. And so far, Buckingham Palace has stayed silent on Meghan's Netflix show. But silence doesn't mean approval. The palace often ignores things publicly, but behind closed doors, that's a different story. Insiders say the royal family is likely monitoring the situation very closely. If the show contains direct attacks on the monarchy, we might see a response, just like we did after Spare. In fact, let's talk about that. When Prince Harry's book came out, the palace refused to make a statement. But we did see something else. Prince William and King Charles started making more public appearances, engaging with the people, and showing unity. Some experts believe that was their way of countering the negative press without actually saying anything. So, could we see the same strategy this time? Maybe. If Meghan's show causes a big uproar, Charles might not say anything directly, but we could see more carefully planned public appearances to shift the attention back to the monarchy. Silence versus issuing a statement. What does it mean? If Buckingham Palace stays silent, it could mean two things. Either they don't want to give the show more publicity. If the royal family responds, it only makes the story bigger. So, by staying quiet, they hope the news cycle moves on quickly, or they're handling it privately. Just because they aren't saying anything publicly doesn't mean Charles isn't taking action. He might be having conversations behind the scenes about what this means for the family. But what if the palace does issue a statement? That would be big because it would mean the show contains something so damaging that they can't ignore it. This has only happened a few times before, like when the Queen responded to Oprah's interview saying, "Recollections may vary." If Charles decides to speak out, it could be to defend the monarchy or to clear up any misinformation. But if they choose silence, it likely means they think the show isn't worth acknowledging. Social media's take on Meghan's Netflix show. Now, if there's one place where opinions come flying faster than ever, it's Twitter. Or should we say, 10. Whatever you call it, it's a battlefield whenever Meghan Markle is involved. The moment news of her show dropped, Twitter exploded. Meghan's supporters were quick to praise her. They called her inspiring, independent, and a woman who refuses to be silenced. They said she is creating her own path, far away from the royal family, and that she deserves success. But then, on the other side, her critics were not holding back. Some accused her of playing the victim, again. Others said she was using the royal family's name to stay relevant. And a few even asked, who is even watching this? And then, of course, there were the memes. Twitter loves a good meme. Some people joked that King Charles was throwing his tea across the room when he heard about the show. Others made fun of how every Meghan project seems to involve a new way to tell the same old story. Her struggles, the royal family, and how she was treated unfairly. And let's not forget YouTube. If you type in Meghan Markle Netflix right now, you'll find two kinds of videos. The first type? Glowing reviews from fans who say Meghan is breaking barriers. The second type? Harsh criticism, with titles like Meghan's Netflix disaster or Nobody cares about Meghan's show. The divide is real. Then there's TikTok, where younger audiences are more active. And this is where things get really interesting. Some TikTokers are defending Meghan, saying the hate she gets is unfair and over the top. But then, there's another group making sarcastic videos, rolling their eyes and saying, "Here we go again." Some TikToks even compare Meghan's show to other royal dramas like The Crown, saying it's all just entertainment at this point. how the British tabloids are covering it now. If you thought Twitter was brutal, wait till you hear what the British tabloids have been saying. Because if there's one thing they love, it's a juicy royal scandal. The Daily Mail wasted no time in going all in. Their headlines? Dramatic as always. They called Meghan's new show another desperate attempt to stay in the spotlight. Some articles suggested that King Charles is deeply frustrated, while others speculated that Prince William is absolutely livid. Do we know if that's true? Not really. But does it make a good story? Absolutely. And then we have The Sun. They ran with headlines like Meghan's Netflix nightmare and royal family left shaking their heads. One article even claimed that Buckingham Palace staffers are tired of hearing about Meghan's projects. Apparently, some insiders say the royal family has adopted a just ignore it approach, hoping this phase will pass. But wait, there's more. Royal commentators, the people who are basically professional Meghan watchers, have been making their rounds on TV and in the papers. Some say this show is her way of throwing another punch at the monarchy. Others argue that she's just trying to carve out a career outside of the royal world but can't seem to do it without bringing up the past. And let's not forget the opinion pieces. There are columnists writing long, dramatic articles about how Meghan is embarrassing herself and how she and Harry have lost credibility. Some are even questioning whether Netflix will continue working with her if this project flops. Sensational headlines and narratives. If there's one thing tabloids love, it's a catchy headline. And Meghan Markle gives them plenty to work with. Some papers have already started calling this show a failure before it's even had a chance to prove itself. Headlines like Meghan's big gamble fails and Netflix regrets signing Meghan are making the rounds. But here's the funny part. Some of these same outlets were calling her project highly anticipated just a few months ago. So, which is it? Other headlines are making it sound like King Charles himself has had a full-blown meltdown over this. King Charles furious over Meghan's new show, some claim. But if you actually read the article, it's just a royal expert saying he might not be happy. And then, of course, we have the more dramatic narratives. Some tabloids are painting Meghan as someone who is trying to take down the royal family, one Netflix deal at a time. Others suggest she is just trying to make a name for herself outside of being Prince Harry's wife, but struggling to do so. So, what's the truth? Well, that depends on who you ask. To her fans, Meghan is a woman who refuses to be silenced. To her critics, she is someone who keeps playing the same story over and over again. And to the tabloids, she is simply good business. Because whether people love her or hate her, one thing is for sure, everyone keeps talking about her. And that's the biggest twist of all. Meghan Markle, whether you support her or not, remains one of the most talked about women in the world. Love her or hate her, she always finds a way to be at the center of the conversation. Why the royals are worried about media influence. If there's one thing the royal family fears, it's losing control over their image. Think about it. This is a family that has existed for centuries. They have strict rules on how to behave, how to dress, even how to wave at people. Everything is carefully planned to make sure they always look strong, graceful, and respectable. But here's the problem. In today's world, the media is more powerful than ever. People don't just believe what they see on the news anymore. They believe what they see on social media, in documentaries, and in TV shows. And Meghan Markle knows exactly how to use this to her advantage. Just look at her and Harry's past projects. In their Netflix documentary, they talked about how the royal family treated Meghan unfairly. In Harry's book Spare, he exposed private family drama. These stories made headlines all over the world. And even though the palace never responded directly, the damage was already done. Now, Meghan is back with another Netflix project. And even if she doesn't mention the royals by name, people will still look for hidden messages. Will she take another indirect dig at the family? Will she bring up past struggles again? Or is this just another way to stay in the spotlight? No matter what the show is about, the royal family knows one thing for sure. Every time Meghan speaks, their control over the story gets weaker. The power of storytelling in shaping public perception. Here's the thing about storytelling. It changes how people see the world. And Meghan is really good at telling stories that make people feel something. Remember when she said she felt trapped in the royal system? When she shared that she struggled with mental health while in the palace? when she said someone in the family questioned what skin color her son would have? These were not just words. They were emotional moments that made people pick sides. That's the problem for King Charles. Because even if he has his own version of events, he can't just sit down with Netflix and tell his story. That's not how the monarchy works. They follow the old rule. Never complain, never explain. But in today's world, staying silent can look like guilt. So when Meghan shares her side, whether it's through a Netflix show, an interview, or a podcast, people listen. They feel for her. And with every new project, the royal family looks more and more like the villains in her story. Meghan and Harry have built their own brand, one that is very different from the royal family. They are modern, outspoken, and not afraid to call out injustice. Meghan especially focuses on personal struggles and empowerment. It's a brand that appeals to younger people, Americans, and those who are tired of old traditions. But the royal family is all about tradition, duty, and silence. They don't share personal struggles. They don't get emotional in public. They represent something much bigger than themselves. This is why Meghan and Harry's way of doing things is a huge problem for King Charles. Because when the world sees a younger, more relatable royal couple telling their story, suddenly, the monarchy looks outdated. It makes people ask, do we even need the royal family anymore? And that's the real danger. If people stop caring about the monarchy, what happens next? What this means for King Charles's reign. King Charles has waited his entire life to be king. Now that he finally has the crown, the last thing he wants is more drama. But let's be real, his reign has already been full of it. From Prince Andrew's scandals to Meghan and Harry's explosive interviews, Charles has had to deal with one controversy after another. And this new Netflix show might add even more problems to his plate. On one hand, he wants to keep the royal family strong and respected. He wants people to see him as a stable and wise leader. But on the other hand, there's a constant storm of drama that he just can't escape. How do you keep a dignified image when your own family members are airing out private issues on TV? Every time a new Meghan and Harry project comes out, Charles has to make a choice. Ignore it and hope people forget. But that can make him look weak, respond, and defend the monarchy. But that breaks the royal tradition of staying silent. Either way, it's a no-win situation. Right now, King Charles is not as popular as Queen Elizabeth was. People respected her because she was calm, strong, and never got involved in drama. But Charles, he's stepping into the role at a time when the royal family is being questioned more than ever. Meghan and Harry's media influence is part of that. Every time they bring up royal issues, it adds to a growing debate. Is the monarchy still relevant? Charles knows that his legacy depends on how he handles these challenges. If he lets too much drama take over, his reign might be remembered for all the wrong reasons. Potential long-term consequences. So, what happens next? Will things ever go back to normal for the royal family? Or will Meghan and Harry's influence change the monarchy forever? One possibility is that King Charles will cut ties with Harry and Meghan completely. There have already been rumors that Harry might lose his royal titles. If the drama continues, Charles might decide that the best way to protect the monarchy is to fully separate from them. Another possibility? Future royals might change how they handle media. Prince William and Kate Middleton are already doing things differently. They share more personal moments, but they control their own narrative. Maybe they've learned from Meghan and Harry's impact. One thing is certain. The royal family can't afford to ignore the power of modern media anymore. So, does Meghan Markle's Netflix show really matter? Yes, it's not just another TV project. It's a sign of how storytelling is reshaping the monarchy. King Charles is in a tough spot. He wants to keep the royal family respected and stable, but Meghan and Harry keep pulling them into the spotlight in ways he can't control. So now the real question is, how much more of this can the monarchy take? What do you think? Is the royal family handling this the right way? Or should King Charles finally speak out? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on the latest royal drama. See you in the next video.
It was going to cause more harm than good.
The feud within the royal family has reached a boiling point. Prince Harry and Prince William are no longer holding back as they reportedly make their ultimate move against Queen Camilla. Accused of betrayal, manipulation, and leaking royal secrets to the press, Camilla's actions have left the nation stunned. The rift between the brothers and their stepmother has only grown deeper, and what the princes did next is sending shockwaves across the monarchy. Is this the beginning of the end for Queen Camilla?
What made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
Prince Harry accuses. Queen Camilla of manipulating the media. Prince Harry has never shied away from speaking his mind, and his latest accusations against Queen Camilla have sent shockwaves through the royal family and the public. In a series of interviews and his explosive memoir Spare, Harry described Camilla as dangerous, accusing her of manipulating the media to repair her public reputation. According to Harry, Camilla traded private information about the royal family with the British press in exchange for favorable coverage, a move he claims came at the expense of others, including himself and Prince William. Harry alleges that Camilla's efforts to rehabilitate her image began after she was widely viewed as the villain in the love triangle between her, King Charles, and Princess Diana. Following Diana's death, Camilla worked tirelessly to gain public approval, eventually becoming queen consort. However, Harry claims this transformation was achieved through a calculated campaign of leaks to the media, portraying her in a positive light while damaging the reputation of others in the royal household. One of Harry's most shocking claims is that Camilla's PR team leaked stories about his own struggles, including his use of drugs, to distract the press and shift attention away from her controversial past. He described this as a barter deal with the media, where Camilla provided inside information in exchange for glowing headlines. Harry even suggested that Camilla's actions left bodies in the street, referring to the damage done to family members' reputations. The tension between Harry, William, and Camilla dates back decades. Both brothers opposed their father's marriage to Camilla in 2005, believing it was inappropriate for the woman they blamed for the breakdown of their parents' marriage to become their stepmother. While they publicly wished their father well, behind the scenes, resentment lingered. Harry's accusations have reignited that animosity, making it clear that the wounds of the past have not healed. Despite these claims, Camilla has remained silent, with supporters pointing out her years of dedication to charitable work and the late Queen Elizabeth's endorsement of her as queen consort. However, Harry's accusations have painted a darker picture of her rise to power, leaving the nation divided. Is Camilla the manipulative figure Harry describes, or a misunderstood woman navigating a complex royal life? Harry and William opposed their father, marrying Camilla. The royal family has always been surrounded by drama, but few moments have been as controversial as King Charles's marriage to Camilla in 2005. While the public was divided over the union, Prince Harry and Prince William were firmly against it. The two brothers, still grieving the loss of their mother, Princess Diana, saw Camilla as the woman who had played a key role in the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Their opposition to the marriage was both personal and emotional. For years, Charles and Camilla had been romantically involved, even during Charles's marriage to Diana. Diana famously revealed the affair in her explosive 1995 interview, stating, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This betrayal left a lasting impact on her sons, who harbored deep resentment toward Camilla as the other woman. When Charles announced his plans to marry Camilla, Harry and William reportedly begged their father not to go through with it. In his memoir Spare, Harry opened up about this difficult time. He described how he and William pleaded with their father to reconsider, arguing that the marriage would only bring more pain and controversy. However, Charles was determined to marry the woman he loved. Feeling defeated, the brothers eventually gave him their blessing, shook his hand, and assured him there were no hard feelings. But behind the scenes, the resentment lingered. Harry and William's disapproval stemmed not just from Camilla's role in their parents' failed marriage, but also from their fears about what her presence in the royal family would mean. Harry, in particular, admitted that the worried Camilla might become a wicked stepmother, like in the fairy tales he read as a child. He also accused her of being manipulative and using her relationship with the press to improve her public image, often at the expense of others in the royal family. Even after the marriage, the relationship between Camilla and the brothers remained frosty. Their interactions were polite but distant, with no warmth or genuine connection. The scars from the past were too deep to heal. To this day, Harry and William's opposition to their father's marriage to Camilla remains one of the most talked about chapters in royal history. Camilla's alleged role in leaking stories about the royal family The royal family has always been surrounded by whispers, but Prince Harry's claims about Queen Camilla have ignited a firestorm of controversy. According to Harry, Camilla allegedly leaked private information about royal family members to the media as part of a calculated plan to rebuild her public image. In his memoir, Spare, and various interviews, Harry paints a picture of a woman who was willing to sacrifice others, including her stepsons Harry and William, to secure her place in the royal hierarchy. Harry alleges that Camilla entered into a barter agreement with the British press, exchanging sensitive royal details for positive coverage of herself. This, he claims, was part of a long-term strategy to repair her reputation after being labeled the villain in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Harry described her as dangerous in an interview, suggesting that her close ties with the media made her a threat to anyone who stood in her way. Perhaps the most shocking of Harry's accusations is that Camilla's PR team leaked damaging stories about him and William to shift negative attention away from herself. Harry believes that details about his experimentation with drugs and other personal struggles were deliberately fed to the press to clean up Camilla's image. In his words, there were bodies left in the street as a result of her attempts to secure favorable headlines. The tension between Harry, William, and Camilla has long been a topic of speculation, but Harry's revelations have given the public an unprecedented look behind palace walls. Both brothers reportedly opposed their father's marriage to Camilla in 2005, fearing her influence in the royal family. While they eventually appeared to accept her publicly, Harry's accusations suggest that resentment has simmered beneath the surface for years. Camilla, for her part, has remained silent on the allegations, but royal insiders have defended her, pointing to her years of charitable work and her close relationship with King Charles. Even the late Queen Elizabeth publicly endorsed her as Queen Consort, praising her dedication to the monarchy. Despite this, Harry's claims have left the public divided. Is Camilla a cunning figure who manipulated the press at the expense of others? Or is she a misunderstood woman navigating the complexities of royal life? One thing is clear, the drama within the royal family is far from over. Strained relationship between Camilla and her stepson princes. The relationship between Queen Camilla and her stepsons, Prince William and Prince Harry, has long been a source of tension within the royal family. Despite public appearances of unity, insiders reveal that the bond between them has always been strained, rooted in the bitter history of their parents' marriage and Camilla's role in their father's life. For William and Harry, Camilla was not just their father's new wife. She was the woman widely seen as the third person in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Diana's famous comment, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," left no doubt in the public's mind about Camilla's involvement. This perception deeply impacted the young princes, who grew up watching their mother's heartbreak unfold before the world. When Charles announced his plan to marry Camilla in 2005, both brothers were reportedly unhappy. Harry later admitted in his memoir, Spare, that he and William had asked their father not to marry her, fearing it would only bring more pain and controversy. However, Charles was determined, and the princes eventually gave their reluctant approval, shaking his hand and wishing him well. Despite this, insiders say the resentment lingered, especially for Harry. Attempts to bridge the gap between Camilla and her stepsons have reportedly been unsuccessful. Interactions between them are described as polite but distant, with no genuine warmth. Royal events often highlight this tension, as Harry and William are said to maintain a careful distance from their stepmother. Camilla, aware of their feelings, has reportedly accepted her position as an outsider in their eyes. Harry has been particularly vocal about his feelings toward Camilla, accusing her of leaking private family details to the press to rehabilitate her public image. In interviews and his memoir, he called her dangerous and claimed she sacrificed others, including him and William, to improve her standing with the media. William, though less outspoken, is believed to share similar sentiments, holding on to loyalty to their late mother, Princess Diana. The strained relationship between Camilla and her stepsons is a painful reminder of the complexities within the royal family. While public smiles and handshakes suggest unity, the emotional scars left by the past seem far from healed, leaving Camilla's bond with William and Harry forever fractured. Camilla's influence on King Charles and royal affairs. Queen Camilla's rise to power within the royal family has been surrounded by controversy, with many insiders claiming her influence over King Charles has grown significantly since their marriage. While Camilla is often portrayed as a supportive partner, critics, including Prince Harry, have accused her of being the real power behind the throne, using her position to shape royal decisions and dynamics in her favor. But how much influence does Camilla truly have, and how has it affected the royal family? Camilla's journey into the royal spotlight was never smooth. After being blamed for the breakdown of King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage, she worked hard to rebuild her public image. Her efforts eventually earned her the title of Queen Consort, but Harry and William reportedly viewed her growing influence with suspicion. Harry, in particular, accused her of sacrificing others on her PR altar, claiming she used the media to strengthen her position, sometimes at the expense of other family members. One of the most contentious points is Camilla's alleged role in shaping how Charles interacts with his children. Insiders suggest that Camilla has played a significant part in discouraging King Charles from reconciling with Harry following his departure from royal duties in 2020. Reports claim she has taken a firm stance against Harry and Meghan's potential return to the royal fold, even going so far as to block Harry from visiting his father without prior notice. This has reportedly caused tension between Camilla and King Charles, who is said to be open to mending his relationship with his sons, but only on his own terms. Camilla's growing influence extends beyond family disputes. She is believed to have a strong hand in Charles's public and private affairs, often guiding his decisions. For example, when Charles publicly revealed his health issues earlier this year, Camilla was reportedly against the announcement, preferring to keep such matters private. However, Charles overruled her, reportedly after being encouraged by William and Harry to set an example for the public. Despite these claims, Camilla has also been credited with bringing stability to Charles's life and supporting his duties as monarch. But her influence remains a divisive topic. Is she a guiding force helping Charles navigate his role, or is she using her position to consolidate power within the palace? The debate continues, with Camilla's role in royal affairs sparking controversy both inside and outside the monarchy. King Charles caught between his wife and sons. King Charles finds himself in an unenviable position, trapped between the growing tension of his wife, Queen Camilla, and his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. What should have been a time of unity for the royal family has instead become a battlefield, with Charles struggling to maintain peace while navigating one of the most complicated family rifts in modern royal history. The source of the tension largely revolves around Charles's marriage to Camilla. For years, both William and Harry harbored resentment toward their stepmother, whom they saw as the woman who played a key role in the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Diana's infamous 1995 interview, in which she declared, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," cemented Camilla's image as the other woman. While Charles ultimately married Camilla in 2005, neither William nor Harry ever fully accepted her as part of the family. Behind closed doors, the tension has reportedly only worsened over the years. Harry, in particular, has been vocal about his disdain for Camilla, accusing her of manipulating the media to rehabilitate her image. In his memoir, Spare, Harry claimed that Camilla's relationship with the press came at the expense of other family members, including himself and William. He even went so far as to call her dangerous in interviews, citing her alleged willingness to sacrifice others for favorable headlines. As king, Charles is now caught in the middle of this feud. Reports suggest that he has tried to act as a mediator between his sons and his wife, but his efforts have been met with resistance. Camilla has reportedly taken a tough stance against Harry, particularly after his public attacks on her character. Some insiders claim she has even blocked Harry from visiting his father without prior notice, further complicating any efforts at reconciliation. Meanwhile, Charles is said to be open to repairing his relationship with Harry, but only on his own terms. However, this puts him at odds with Camilla, who reportedly believes the king has no reason to feel guilty or reach out to Harry and Meghan. The ongoing feud has left Charles in an impossible position, torn between loyalty to his sons and his devotion to his wife. As the tension continues to escalate, the question remains, can Charles ever bring peace to his fractured family, or will the divide grow even deeper? Harry's memoir, Spare, and additional criticisms of Camilla Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has taken the world by storm, offering a raw and unfiltered look into his life as a royal and the struggles he faced growing up in the public eye. However, one of the most explosive aspects of the book is Harry's pointed criticisms of Queen Camilla. His revelations have not only shocked royal watchers, but have also reignited the long-standing tension within the royal family. In Spare, Harry holds nothing back when discussing his feelings about Camilla, whom he refers to as dangerous. He accuses her of manipulating the media to shape her public image while sacrificing the reputations of others, particularly his and his brother William's. This characterization paints a picture of a woman willing to go to great lengths to secure her position as queen consort, even at the expense of her stepsons. Harry claims that Camilla's close relationship with the press allowed her to leak damaging stories about him and William, using their struggles to distract from her own controversial past. Harry's portrayal of Camilla is particularly striking because it reveals the deep emotional scars scars left by their mother, Princess Diana's tragic death. He suggests that Camilla represents everything that went wrong in their family, positioning her as a symbol of betrayal and heartbreak. The prince's memories of his mother's suffering at the hands of the royal family only amplify his criticisms of Camilla, making it clear that these feelings run deep. As the public reaction to Spare unfolds, many are left wondering how Camilla will respond to Harry's accusations. While she has remained mostly silent, royal insiders are reportedly braced for potential fallout. The divide between the brothers and their stepmother has only widened, raising questions about the future dynamics within the royal family. Additionally, Harry's criticisms have sparked conversations about the broader implications of Camilla's role in the monarchy. Are her actions as manipulative as Harry suggests, or is she simply a woman trying to navigate the complexities of royal life? As the debate rages on, it's clear that Spare has opened old wounds and reignited a debate that many thought was settled long ago. Harry's desire to reintegrate into the royal family. Prince Harry's journey away from royal life has been filled with drama and heartache, but recent reports suggest he may be yearning to find his way back into the fold. After stepping back from royal duties in 2020 and moving to the United States, Harry's relationship with his family has been strained, particularly with his father, King Charles, and his stepmother, Queen Camilla. However, whispers of Harry's desire to reintegrate into the royal family have sparked hope among royal watchers and fans alike. The turning point for Harry seems to have come after the birth of his two children, Archie and Lilibet. As a father, Harry has expressed a desire for his children to connect with their royal roots. He often reflects on his childhood memories of family gatherings, royal events, and the importance of tradition. In interviews, he has mentioned wanting his children to have a sense of belonging within the royal family, which has made him reconsider his decision to distance himself. Harry's recent public appearances have also hinted at his desire for reconciliation. During a visit to the UK for various events, including the unveiling of a statue of his mother, Princess Diana, Harry appeared more open and willing to engage with his family. Reports suggest he has reached out to old friends and aides, seeking to rebuild bridges that had been burnt over the past few years. His willingness to be back in the UK, despite the media scrutiny, indicates a strong desire to reconnect. However, the path to reintegration is fraught with challenges. The ongoing tensions with Camilla remain a significant hurdle. Harry's criticisms of her in his memoir, Spare, have not gone unnoticed, making it difficult for him to find common ground with her. Additionally, William has also been hesitant, still holding on to the wounds from the past. Family dynamics are complicated, and the brothers' relationship needs healing before any real reconciliation can happen. Despite these challenges, Harry has shown signs of hope. He has expressed a desire for honest conversations with his family, emphasizing the importance of understanding and healing. The royal family, often seen as a fortress of tradition, now faces the challenge of adapting to a new era where communication and openness could bridge the gap. Future tensions, lawsuits, and the paperback release of Spare Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has already made waves with its explosive revelations, but the upcoming paperback release is set to reignite tensions within the royal family and possibly lead to more legal battles. As the world eagerly anticipates the new edition, which promises additional content and insights, questions loom about how it will impact Harry's already strained relationships with his family, particularly with King Charles and Prince William. The paperback version of Spare is rumored to include new chapters that delve deeper into Harry's experiences and emotions since the original release. This fresh content may shed light on ongoing conflicts, including his complicated relationship with Queen Camilla and the fallout from his decisions to step back from royal duties. With the royal family still reeling from the initial accusations and revelations, the prospect of further details being shared in print is causing anxiety among palace insiders. One of the most pressing concerns is the potential for lawsuits. Following the original release of Spare, there were murmurs that some members of the royal family were considering legal action over the memoir's content. As Harry prepares to unveil more personal stories, the likelihood of legal disputes increases. Royal experts suggest that if Harry continues to make accusations against Camilla or shares sensitive information about family matters, it could push Charles and William to take a stand in court. Moreover, the book's revelations have already strained relationships to the breaking point. The already rocky dynamic between Harry and his family has been exacerbated by his candid critiques of Camilla and his portrayal of his upbringing. The potential for fresh revelations in the paperback adds a layer of uncertainty, as it could lead to more public feuds and further divide the family. As the publication date approaches, the world watches with bated breath. Will Harry's revelations bring about more tension and lawsuits, or could they help pave the way for understanding and healing? The future of the royal family hangs in the balance, and the paperback release of Spare may just be the catalyst that determines their fate. Only time will tell how this chapter of royal history unfolds.